Welcome to Switch Comics. My name is Marco, and today we're going to be talking about the difficult subject of letting go of comics. Sometimes, unfortunately, you have to let go of comics for financial reasons. Maybe, you have certain bills you need to pay off or something. But other times, and this is where it becomes a little bit more of a difficult decision, you have to let go of comics in order to get other comics. This is something that I found is easier for some people. Obviously there's a lot of people out there that buy comics to sell comics, but then there's this certain specific niche of comic collectors that only buy comics and just can't stand the idea of ever getting rid of a comic, even if it's a dollar comic or expensive comic or a comic they got for 50 cents and it's worth $1,000. They can't get rid of anything. And so I just think it's kind of fascinating, but it is interesting. I think there's a lot of fun stories, and I have a few that I'd like to share myself, and then it'll all be leading to something here towards the end. So one of the earlier ones, maybe the first one that I really got rid of and I was pretty attached to, I got a raw copy of Invincible Iron Man #9, first full appearance of Riri Williams, and I'm a big Iron Man fiend. I'm very excited for the upcoming show, and I can't wait to see what they do with the character. So I got a raw copy, and I got it graded. It came back at 9.8, and I was like, man, and if you know me, I'm not a 9.8 fiend. I don't have to have 9.8s, but when I was looking at the prices of that book and just watching it kind of grow there for a while, I made the tough choice to get rid of that book so that I could acquire a Grail book that at the time it was a kind of unfathomable amount of money for me to spend on it. As I've grown as a collector, you break different limits of like, oh my god, I could never imagine spending that much money, and it starts with, I can never imagine spending $100. I can never imagine spending $500. I can never imagine spending, $5,000. It just keeps growing and growing and growing. But so yeah, at the time, I was eyeballing an NYX3. I've been really wanting to get one for my collection. I love the character of X-23. I love the cover so much. It's a beautiful, beautiful book, and it's just one of my all-time grails that I really wanted to get in my collection. But like I said, at the time, I was like, I can't imagine spending that much money. And so I made the choice to sell off my Iron Man 9, and it funded that completely, and then I had a little bit extra, and then something else came up, actually, where my friend was selling a Spider-Man 50, so some of the money went towards that, and then I also ended up selling, I had a New Mutants 98 at a 9.0, I sold that, and then had to put in some extra money also on top of that, but I got me a Spider-Man 50, because sometimes there's opportunities that just arise. There's not necessarily, there's certain, like with NYX3, I was like, I'm, heat-seeking missile onto that. I gotta find me that book. But with Spider-Man 50, it just popped up. My friend, was just like, hey, I got this book for sale. And I'm like, oh, I kind of really want that, Spider-Man keys are great. Kingpin is a great character. And I bought it a little bit before the Hawkeye show came out. So it's actually ended up being a good investment as well. And it's a really really awesome book that I'm very happy that I had the opportunity to get. And with another similar story of something just happening, and it wasn't really on my radar at all, but my X-Men 12, it popped up in the shop one day, and I was just like, I kind of already was thinking about thinning down my Funko Pop collection. And that popped up in the shop, and I was like, yeah, we're thinning down the Funko Pop collection. So I brought up, I don't even know how many boxes of Pops. It's probably, I don't know, 1 to 200 Pops. I didn't count them out, but it was 1 to 200 Pops or so. And I ended up selling those off to get me the X-Men 12 here. And it was, like I said, it was just a thing. I've always really liked the Juggernaut, but it wasn't like something that I was like even paying attention. It wasn't even something I really knew the price of. You know what I mean? I just happened to find it, and I was like, yeah, this is coming home with me. Oh, and then another one, I ended up doing a trade. I traded all these comics here to end up getting, it was my very first trade, the only trade I've done so far, actually. But yeah, I ended up getting, they were raw when I got them, but this Marvel Spotlight 5 and the Werewolf by Night 32. And those were just two awesome Grail books that a good buddy of mine messaged me. I made a video at the beginning of the year saying some different books I was looking for. And I honestly, because I made a video doing that last year, and I, I got most of the books. I think there's maybe one book that I didn't get. I can't remember. But I was like, this list, I want to make sure I put something on there that I won't be able to get this year. Like, I had no idea I'd be getting a Spotlight 5 or Werewolf by Night 32 this year at all. Although Spotlight 5 was one that I really, really, really wanted. I was like, that's probably not going to happen. I'm not going to find one at a reasonable price. And then so he hit me up and said he had those two raw for trade, or he would be interested in trading me. And a lot of these books that I traded him were stuff that I didn't necessarily want to get rid of. There are quite a few books in there that I would like to get again someday. But you just have to weigh your options a little bit and be like, well, you know, I do like these books, but you know, I love that book. So it the other things I can get back again at some point, and I'm not that worried about them unless something crazy happens and they spike up astronomically. And if it does, it does. You know, it's just the name of the game. I feel like sometimes you have to make a little bit of a loss and let some stuff go, and it can be hard emotionally. But you know, to make out with some really awesome books. And you know, I'm not trying to brag or nothing, but I really like what a collection I've been able to get. You know, I haven't been collecting for too terribly long. I guess I'm probably coming up on 2 years now, and I think I have a pretty nice collection for that amount of time. And part of it has been because of sacrifice, you know. And so, you know, I can't make you do anything. I can't make you change your mind or whatever. If you're a kind of collector and you're never going to get rid of anything, where it's selling or trading or whatever, you keep every single comic you ever get, then that's fine. That's you, and that's okay. But I just, you know, if there is something that maybe is kind of out of your reach, maybe consider, you know, I can let go of this or this or that or whatever, and maybe make this work. Because there's certain, like I said, opportunities that come up sometimes in people's lives, and you know, you kind of have to make it work. Sometimes maybe you have a book that goes up in value a lot, and maybe you evaluate. It's like, maybe I could make this into something else that I've always really, really wanted. And I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting. I love to hear those kind of stories. And like I said, this is kind of leading into something, and that's because I've been, and if I'm kind of stuttering over my words, I apologize. It's like 5 in the morning. That's because I've been putting a bunch of comics and stuff on eBay and my Instagram, because I am trying to fund the largest purchase that I will have ever done. And in doing so, I'm getting rid of a lot of stuff. So over on my eBay page, I have a bunch of Lego lots that are currently on auction. And then I have some comics up there for sale as well. Not too many yet, but there will be more coming. I just put a lot of graded comics on my Instagram. And again, there'll be more raw comics. Hopefully, by the time you see this, so today's Sunday, after I get some rest, I'm going to try to get some more raw comics up there. I just had a big stack of graded and went through and made the tough choice of like, oh, I guess I can let this one go, you know? And in these books, there's a lot that I don't necessarily want to get rid of. Some I think are really cool books that I'd like to have. I'd probably at some point will try to get them back again. Some of them were spec books that I think are still good spec books. You know, there's certain things that's like, I'd really like to let this go a little bit later when a certain movie or show or something comes out, but I have an opportunity now, you know what I mean? And I have to try to make it work. And by the way, I'm being very vague, and that's because I don't want to tell you what the book is. I don't want to jinx it or anything, and also I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say what it is just in case it doesn't happen, I guess. But it's one of my all-time favorite books, and I have the opportunity to try to get it, and I need to try my best to make this happen. If it doesn't end up happening, it's not the end of the world, but I have to try. This book is massive. I mean, if I took my Spider-Man 50, my Werewolf by Night, my Spotlight 5, and my X-Men 12, combined them all together, it still puts all those to shame. This thing is big boy. It's a big boy book, all right? And I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try everything that I can to make this happen. And so I'm gonna be selling. I'm trying to sell a lot of my stuff. So if you're interested in anything, feel free to shoot me a message, preferably over on Instagram. Easiest way to get a hold of me. I'm gonna be going through my stuff. I wanna just keep posting more and more for sale. And with that being said, if I end up selling a good amount of stuff, but it's not enough stuff still, then maybe I don't know, maybe I'll redirect and get some other big book that I ended up wanting or something. Because, there's a million big books that I want. Especially I haven't been collecting super long. There's so much stuff that I would like to add to my collection, but like I said, I have the opportunity to get one of my all-time grails, and I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try so hard. That being said, I don't know. I'd love to hear if you have any similar stories. If you let go of some certain books in order to get something else that you really, really wanted. Let go of books that you liked for books that you loved. Maybe you have a more tragic tale. Maybe you have a story about an opportunity you had where if you got rid of this, you could have got this, but you didn't do it, and then now that other thing is unattainable for you, or I don't know. If you got any kind of, like I said, similar stories, I'd love to hear about them in the comments below. If I didn't say it already, my Instagram and my eBay are in the description. And also, as a bit of a heads up, I'm so desperate. I'm so desperate for this book that some of these books might end up going for sale as well. There's some of these that definitely will not. Like my Spotlight 5, my Werewolf by Night. Well, none of the Moon Knight. Chris won't ever get rid of his Moon Knight stuff. I guess both Ghost Riders. I love those books so much. The Gambit is, one of Chris's favorite books, but there's some of these that might end up going. Even, like, if I really, really have to, I'll let the X-Men 12 go. I'll let the Spider-Man 50 go. I don't want to, but I'd be willing to make that sacrifice. So we'll see how it all goes. I'm gonna be just stay updated on my eBay and Instagram if you want to see what I have for sale. If you want to work like bundle deals or anything, like I said, just shoot me a message. But yeah, I'm really I don't want to say desperate. I'm determined. I'm determined to make this work. Because like I said, if it doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world. I still have a lot of really other cool books, and I'm very happy with my collection, but I have an opportunity to make it far crazier than I ever imagined. So that's going to be it for today, though. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.